one way, fighting.
Hello, you're free to one way fighting with me, Neil Smith, and again, Del Boy's got his Rodney back. It's Ashley.
But headphones, mate. Come on.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah.
Got it for my birthday, everyone. Hey.
Hey, how old are you?
Mate, 28.
28. Yeah.
2 years off 30.
Believe me, lads, that's 10 years off 40.
Yeah. Yeah. It's going
Wow.
quick though, mate. Scary times.
It is, mate. It is. Well, bigger things, pressing issues, mate. We've got one of the sickest cards I've seen for a while.
Yeah, that fight card was ridiculous. That main card just lived up to it with the fans back. I mean, how did you feel with the fans back? I noticed it straight away, the difference.
I mean, I watched the post-fight press conference with Dana White, and he was sat at the desk and that, but he must have been like that with a big stiffy under the desk. 3 million on the gate alone.
Really, 3 million?
Yeah, so he's happy.
Well, they've missed off on that, haven't they? The live gate, and that's one of the big money maker. So yeah, I can imagine him being made up. But the atmosphere though was unbelievable. I mean, they were in Florida, weren't they? And Florida are like wild fans, aren't they?
Yeah, but he said there were a lot of people who were just like, we didn't want to do anything during COVID. And he said Florida was one of the places that just said, fuck it, we'll just get it done. And he said he wanted to repay them by getting that sorted out, which is good business really on his part. He said they're going to do all over Florida, not just Jacksonville. So they're going to build a big following there, like in terms of people going and watching. So good on them, mate.
Yeah. But it was George Masvidal. He's from Miami, Florida, isn't he? So he was like the hometown guy. So that's probably another reason why you choose Florida for that fight card, because obviously you got George Masvidal. So yeah, I think they smashed it, to be fair, location wise. Miami fans or Florida fans in general, they're just mad.
Yeah.
You can sense that.
You always see them memes. Florida man did this, Florida man did that.
Yeah, yeah.
Crazy, like they buried a cat or something naked.
Yeah.
That's off the top of my head. Right. But
they're mad fans.
Yeah. So speaking of Masvidal, as you woke up, what happened?
Usman, mate. I mean, like, he's just getting better and better, and it's a scary fact when it was all about trying to take Usman off the wrestling and trying to get him to strike with you. And now it's like, what do you do now? Because his striking has improved so much. Like, what do you do with him? You know what I mean? Like, if I was fighting Usman, when you think about what to do, what would you do? I mean, the guy is good in all areas. He's gone so confident in his striking as well. I mean, he's a beast.
Get me wrong, I thought he was going to KO him. I mean, everybody sees him as a wrestler, like, but he's shown with Covington and Burns and stuff like that. He's got hands. But the thing is, I mean, I watched Chael Sonnen, and he said it best. You get all these high-level strikers, and they think they can get. He used the phrase "cute," or I think it's a bit of ego more than cute. You think he can just drop hands and stuff like that. He was pretty tight up until that point, and then they had that scramble on the floor in the first round. I don't think he was tired, but I think he was just a bit looser and a bit more. I've got this standing up. He'd been hit a few times, and then Usman just followed through. I mean, he hit his jaw with his arm there, and it just followed right through. And
beautiful.
That picture where he's a kip on his shoulder.
Yeah, it was just that performance, and the backstory to it was just perfect. I mean, he couldn't have won any better, and I mean it kind of sets up the whole, like, obviously coming from that rivalry, winning that. It's like the only fight that I see next is Colby Covington. But after that fight, I'm a bit like, I see Usman just walk. Did he?
Yeah.
I see Usman walking through him, and from that performance, I'm like, I don't know how you deal with him. I've got honestly, like he is on his way to becoming the greatest welterweight, 100%.
You know what? Yeah, no. How many title defenses has he got? Like 4 or 5?
4 or 5. He's on his way there, mate.
And how many's GSP got?
Yeah, obviously he's got more.
12 or something.
Yeah, he's got more. But as I said, he's on his way. Now, when you talk about like the greatest of all time, greatest in the division, all this is opinions. These are all opinions. My opinion is, if he carries on like this, there's no reason why he can't be. The level of competition is that he's fighting, and the way he's winning is ridiculous.
Yeah, but Tyron Woodley was smoking people, and now he's some joke.
Yeah. Well, Tyron Woodley, again, if he would, so when he finished Evan Till, there was kind of talks, that he was, again, on his way to being like, one of the best welterweights. But he still is, though. People still regard him as one of the best welterweights. People don't say he was the greatest welterweight, but he was one of the best. And it's like, when you watch Usman and you think of the win streak, obviously, if you look at his record from when he's won the belt, look at it beforehand. He's fought like these young up and comers, and he's beat them and he's dominated them. Hardly lost a round. So you look at that, you look at him going forward, 100% on his way to being one of the greatest welterweights ever been. Easily rival GSP, easily rival Matt Hughes. Different era, different sport, but the division's much tougher now than what. Well, that's always going to be the way, though, isn't it? As time goes on, obviously the fighters become more elite, divisions get harder. And we're on about the current division now, which is the best it's ever been. And Usman is just run through everyone. Can't see anyone challenging him. Like, I really can't.
I really, really, really like Usman. Like, I watched the post-fight interview with him, and I've seen him before when he gets interviewed, and his mindset just seems to be there. Like, just
he's on it.
I'm not thinking about being the GOAT. It's 1, 2, and by the time I've done them, then we'll start thinking about it. But I think this GOAT talk is Dana White and that trying to get a new Khabib.
Yeah, but why not, though? Why not? If I was Dana White, I'd 100% get behind him now, because the guy's winning. He's winning in spectacular fashion. Get behind him. Get behind him. Can't argue with any of his performances, mate. Like, just being the first guy to knock out George Masvidal. The way he did it, he's fantastic. No, George Masvidal's never been actually KO'd. He's been submitted. He has been submitted. I don't think he's ever been TKO'd.
40 yards, but I'll double check that.
Double check, yeah. No, well, he's never been one punch KO'd. Like, there's no way he's never been one punch KO'd.
I don't think he's been like that.
No, never been slapped. It's been submitted, but yeah. But you know what I liked as well, George Masvidal's kind of his like reaction to it straight after the fight was just kind of I didn't say anything bad, did he? Obviously he couldn't anyway, but he was just kind of like giving props to it, Usman, weren't he? Which I quite like, the sportsmanship of it.
Yeah,
you checking his record? Is that what you're doing? Yeah.
I was just having a quick look. You can't rely on this because I'm looking on Wikipedia, but decisions, unanimous decisions, submission, TKO against Rodrigo Dam. So TKO, he's not been slapped, has he?
I think I watched that one. I think it was more of a volume.
Yeah,
more of a volume one. It wasn't a one punch. Yeah, it wasn't a one punch KO. But yeah, sorry, but
punches, but that's it.
Yeah, never been one punch KO'd. And obviously that's early on in his career. I mean, if you look at him in the UFC, he's fought the elite of the elite. And yeah, never been slept. I mean, but I just love his reaction afterwards, though. It was just kind of like, he had my number. There's literally nothing I can say. Fair play to him. I quite like that reaction.
What do you think's next for him?
For George Masvidal?
Mm-hmm.
So he's got this new business, hasn't he? This is it bare knuckle? Is it bare knuckle? So if I was, I mean, I don't. Will he fight again? I have no idea. I don't think he'll fight soon. 100%. I think he's got to probably try and put a lot of effort into this new business he wants to go into. Focus on that, because who else really? You just fought for the belt
twice.
Obviously lost twice. What's next, really?
Yeah, and the thing is, he's got his own bare knuckle promotion. Like, it's one of them. He's going to either fight in that or just concentrate on that. But I don't like, though. I'm an idiot looking at forums and stuff like that. But everyone's been slating him, told you he was shit and this, that, and the other. And it's like, what? No. You're mad.
I don't tend to read comments. It's like on like the UFC page on like Facebook and stuff, or like YouTube. Everyone has an opinion, but you notice it's all the Americans, all the American fans that just fight. Yeah, a lot of them are. But that's the thing, though. You lose one fight, and it's like, oh, I told you he was this. It's it's like when people give like predictions and stuff, and like, I don't know, either the right about the prediction or the wrong. It's like, oh, I told you. But yeah, it's quite disrespectful, I think, to George Masvidal for them comments, because he clearly wasn't. I mean, people say about his record because he lost quite a lot of fights, but he was losing them by like split decisions, which could have gone either way. You know what I mean? And then if you look at his recent fights, his performances, it's KO over Darren Till, the KO over Ben Askren, and the win over Diaz as well. I mean, he's good. He's an elite fighter. That first fight with Usman, you know what I mean? Like, he's still hung in there. So yeah.
I mean, Ben Askren's one of them, good fighter and that, but he's let it down a bit, hasn't he? And the thing with Ben Askren is he's tarnished a little bit now, isn't he?
I say so. I mean, striking wise.
The only reason I was saying that, is then you look at Nate Diaz, who's maybe a bit over the hill. So really, you've got Darren Till out of them three that you'd say the top. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ben Askren's still a good fighter, and he timed that knee well, and obviously prepared for that, knowing that he was going to take him down. If he'd have took him down, it could have been a different ball game. Because he's saying that, though, did you see he got up out of Usman's, he sort of scrambled, didn't he? And he puts his leg on the hips, doesn't he, and just pushes back.
Pushes off. Yeah.
Do you think he would have done that with Ben Askren necessarily? I think he would have.
I think he would have. Yeah, I think he would have. It's hard to tell, and it's almost like we'll never know. The fact is, okay, we know Ben Askren now, but that's now, and that's with. I mean, the boxing event is completely separate. If you just talk about MMA, he was on a big, massive win streak before that fight, and it was the way that George Masvidal beat him. Do you get what I mean? I mean, 5 seconds. Just comes out, flying knee, KO. It's perfect. In the fight with Diaz as well, like, so a lot of. I mean, okay, yeah, they could say Diaz is obviously, I don't know, on the way down and stuff like that. But what if Diaz was to go out there and beat Leon Edwards? Wouldn't be saying that then, would we? We'd be saying, oh my God, like, Diaz still got it, and then it'll make George Masvidal look even better by.
Yeah, I don't think he's over the hill, but I just don't think he was that top level elite competition to proceed going in against Usman.
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're comparing Diaz and Usman, 100%.
Interesting thing as well on the Ben Askren, I feel like his UFC career's just come too late. Because I was watching this thing in 2019. He's predominantly a wrestler. I mean, he did like an exhibition against Jordan Burroughs, who's like a Olympic gold medalist, Olympic wrestler, and it was only an exhibition, like, and he hadn't competed wrestling in about 9 years. He said, but he got ragdolled everywhere. I mean, this kid's obviously, yeah, like I think he beat him in the first round about 13 points or something to 0.
Yeah.
Like he was getting double legged off his knees and stuff, and I think he got he might have got like suplexed or something at one point. But my point was that was in 2019, so that had been around about the time he was going towards fighting people like Masvidal. So I think maybe Ben Askren's best years were behind him as he was coming into the UFC, because he'd already pre-retired before he'd gone to the UFC. It was only that
he did.
Said, so. You know, again.
When was when did he have the hip surgery, the hip replacement surgery? When was that?
Between 6 and 12 months ago, I think it was.
Was that so? When he was fighting the UFC,
the Jake Paul fight, wasn't he?
So because I'm sure I heard when he was in the UFC, like it was an issue. Like he had a lot of injuries and he was never fighting 100. So, because I do think that plays a part. But if you go watch his old fights, I mean, that fight is the fight with Douglas Lima. That was a good fight, you know. I watched that. I watched that a few weeks ago. There was a lot of good transitions, and you can see on the ground and everything like that. You can see the difference, I think, of when he's fighting Douglas Lima and then when he was fighting Damian Maia. Like, I mean, Damian Maia is obviously jiu-jitsu wise, obviously much better. And he, definitely struggled with that. But just the difference in kind of the movements with Ben Askren, you could just see, like, wasn't at the best stage of his career, was he, with that?
I don't think so.
No.
But yeah, I mean, I rewatched the Usman Masvidal again today. I mean, round 1, Usman was coming in with right hands. Masvidal tried that flying knee. He got took to the ground. He did manage to get back up. But yeah, round 2, he hit him with a right hand, and then he come in with that KO shortly after. There was not much else to do, really. It was all she wrote. So
yeah. So do you reckon? So next is Usman and Colby Covington. I mean, I've said there. I think Usman from that performance, it's going to be so hard to pick against Usman in any fight now. He's just going to be the favorite in each fight.
It was an interesting thing you said, though. They both stood up and didn't go to the ground. I don't think they wanted to test their wrestling. See if Colby Covington can maybe take him in that sense, take him to a decision or something. But I feel like Usman's going to be too strong.
I feel like, because they both cancelled out each other's wrestling. And it's kind of a sense, well, if they do that again, who's made the more improvements with the striking? And I just feel like Usman, after that performance, I feel Usman's got it with the striking. So, yeah, you are right. Like, if it was Colby Covington, you'd have to use your wrestling more. You'd have to. At least tempt it. At least just kind of make Usman think about it and try and set something up there. But if you're just having a striking match with Usman, I just think that Usman's just, his development of the striking is just leaps and bounds. You can just tell.
I don't know if maybe Covington's a better striker. I mean, there were certain rounds where Usman looked like he come off better off the strike and certain rounds where Covington did. I don't think it was so much that he was a better striker. He's just got that much more power when he hits, and his punches are more significant when they land. I mean, I don't know what the significant strike rate was, how many for Covington and Usman, but there were times where I thought he's a cleaner striker in this exchange. So I don't know if he's a better striker. I just think when he hits, it just hurts that much more.
I think he is now. I think from the fight with Colby Covington, the 2 fights that he's had after that, I just think his improvements in the striking has become so much more better, and I just feel like it's come on leaps and bounds. I feel he is. I feel like going into the Colby Covington.
I feel the difference is confidence. I don't think it's so much that he's learned more. I feel like once you've broke someone's jaw in the cage of Colby Covington's level, you're then willing to try more stuff in the following one, and then you just carry on doing that to people. I feel
he has learned more. I'd say he's definitely learned more. I'd say, especially with utilizing the jab. I mean, his jab against Gilbert Burns, it was just so fast, wasn't it? Just like so accurate and so fast. You can tell he's been working a lot on the
Been
jab.
a while since I watched the Covington fight, though. He was using that jab a lot, though, wasn't he? Didn't he like break his nose or something with the jab? Or am I just talking rubbish?
Definitely broke his jaw. Might have broke his nose. I don't know. But from that fight though, he's 100% improved on the aspect, which is obviously got to build up his confidence. And confidence is key, but you've got to have the technique to go with that confidence, and he does, mate. Like,
yeah,
I'm high. I'm quite high on Usman after that fight. Like, yeah, I
we
can't
were
wait to
saying
see
the
him
other
fight
week
again.
that we didn't fancy this card. What were we talking about?
Did we say that? Yeah, I can't remember. Did we speak about this?
What, about 2 weeks ago we said, oh, Usman Masvidal 2, the first fight wasn't that exciting.
Oh, we did, yeah. No, you're right, we did, yeah. Because that's right. We were saying, we were like, we both predicted Usman, and we were saying that, yeah, I think it's just going to be the same thing again. I can't see what's changed. Well, it had changed, but not from George Masvidal's side, from Usman's side, and I love that, to be honest. I actually love that from Usman. Keep improving.
I mean, and the rest of the card, man. Let's go with Thug Rose and Weili Zhang.
I was so happy.
Quick.
Happy, like, yeah. I was, it was weird on that fight, because like Rose, last time we seen a fight was Jessica Andrade, and she won that fight, but she had a bit of a tricky third round. And I'll be honest, right, I struggle with Rose sometimes because of the mental aspect of it. I'm not saying she's mentally weak. If anything, she's quite mentally strong, but she's quite erratic mentally, if that makes sense. So you never know where her head's at with it. And I think that's actually the biggest part with it. I don't think it's actually the skill or anything like that. Like, she's so good, but it's the mental aspect. So it was like, does she want it or does she not? But she clearly wants it, doesn't she? I mean, like, what was she saying beforehand? That it got a bit of controversy. She was saying, better dead than red.
Yeah.
Something.
A communist comment about her being Chinese.
I love it, mate. Why not? Throw it in. I love it.
It's just one of them, like, mate. It's a fucking crazy thing to say, like, isn't it?
I love it though, because it kind of got Weili a bit like. Do you reckon it got under the skin a little bit?
I think it did, mate. I think massively. I think. Sorry, mate. I'm just checking something now.
Yeah,
I think it definitely got under their skin. I think, though, it was just unexpected that it finished so early. She did that little lift with the knee, and then just came in with that head kick and just destroyed it.
Yeah, I was so happy. Like, my reaction was I was shocked, but I was just blew away. So happy for her, though.
Oh, mate, yeah, 100%. I mean, what do you think in terms of, she's had these problems before, hasn't she, where she says that it's going to be an issue where she doesn't like all the limelight and stuff like that?
So I feel like now she's experienced it now. So she's already been a champion now. She's had the belt. She tried to defend it, but obviously it was the title defense that she lost. I think she's kind of used to it now. She's got a good team around her. And I think she's looking at it in a different perspective. I think now she's kind of like in that mindset of, I'm the best. I believe in the best. And I'm going to prove it. I'm going to keep on proving it. I mean, this is, to be fair, this is what she said. But I believe it as well. I get that belief from her. And you know what else? About Rose that I like as well? I feel like every time she wins, it's always like a feel-good story. It's just a feel-good moment. You watch her team, you watch her husband, Pat Berry. You see how like ecstatic he is. He's always so happy with it. It's always a feel-good moment. And you got DC, haven't you? Shouting Thug Rose, just adds to it.
Yeah, DC, mate, where he's just celebrating, is just amazing, lad.
Yeah, he's literally, I love it though. Like when he's screaming Thug Rose, it's always a feel good moment every time I watch her. Do you know what I mean? And she pulls it out the bag as well with these wins that she gets in these title fights. Like these like when she knocked out Joanna Jędrzejczyk in the first round, and now obviously this fight, she pulls it out the bag. I think when she's an underdog.
Who do you reckon she's going to get? They're talking about Zhang again
for the rematch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that. I don't really know who else really. Oh, actually, there's another girl. Is it Tatina something? Tatina Suarez. She TKO'd the Cookie Monster, Carla Esparza. And she's won maybe twice since. She's undefeated, and she's good. I just cannot remember what division she's in, but if she's in that division, she's up there, mate. She's good. But yeah, I reckon you make the rematch. Why not? Fuck it.
Yeah, I think they've both done Joanna Jędrzejczyk, and they've both done it quite significantly. Rose got the KO and Zhang made her head into something off Big Trouble in Little China.
Alien.
Yeah, mate.
Yeah.
Or Blade, he sticks them things. Have you seen Blade when he sticks
the blue,
and they start going
them blue little minutes. Yeah. It was like that. It was so bad. I'll be honest. I have no issues with the rematch. No issues with that. Yeah,
and it was one of them. It was a quick knockout, so you feel like Zhang really deserves it. It's a bit like when you'd expected Aldo to get the rematch
against McGregor. Yeah, I get that actually. Yeah, I get that.
It was quick, but that was their first defense for Zhang, wasn't it?
Yeah, first defense. But I think from the UFC's point of view, obviously, when you look at marketing a fight and everything like that, I actually think it makes perfect sense. There's nobody that's there that's they're definitely next in line. There's a bit of a gap there. So I'm like, there's time. So yeah, I say book the rematch to go again. Generate big sales. So yeah.
Yeah, massive, mate. I think they might headline as well.
Yeah, and rightfully so as well. That'll easily carry any card. She's just both of them are just so popular, aren't they? Everyone loves Rose Namajunas. Everyone loves the story, and people like the other one, Willie.
Yeah, no. She's just a tough little nothing, and she that Jędrzejczyk fight was fight of the year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And I think she obviously got a lot of fans from that. First Chinese UFC champion as well, which obviously adds to the hype. So, yeah, I say book the rematch, definitely.
Yeah. I mean, other than Kung Lee, there aren't that many huge Chinese fighters in the UFC of history that you really remember.
No, there was, Kung Lee. There was... I was going to say Mario Yamasaki, but not him. Is it Sexy Yama? Sexy Yama?
Yeah.
I can't say his full name. What was his full name? Sexy Yama?
Oh, fucking couldn't.
I just know him as Sexy Yama, but he was quite good. He was quite good in the middleweight division,
Yeah, but he was that little musclehead, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah. They've never had a UFC champion. So again, she's got all that behind her as well. So it makes perfect sense. The question is though, what do you do with Shevchenko? What do you do with Shevchenko? So she beat Jessica Andrade, didn't she? TKO there.
And the elbows.
Yeah.
Brutal.
What do you do with her? I love her, mate. She's boss. Everything about her is she's just perfect, isn't she? She goes out there, she wins, she looks good doing it.
Perfect.
And you're doing that bantamweight, wouldn't you? She'll have to move up, because Amanda Nunes, she won't be moving down from bantamweight.
Yeah, she's
so I say
isn't she, Shevchenko? Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You know what? Nunes didn't.
Flyweight. Flyweight, I think she is.
Sorry, mate. She's never stopped there. She beat her on unanimous and split the decision, but she's got 2 wins against her.
That second fight was close. Like, that second fight was generally close. And, with Amanda Nunes just running through people, the last difficult fight she had, in my opinion, was that fight because I'm sure it could have gone either way, I haven't watched it since that happened, but I'm sure it could have gone either way. It was that close.
Yeah.
So
it was no, the first one was split decision, the last one was unanimous.
But it was close. I'm so sure the last fight was close though. Like,
but that being said, though, Shevchenko come out on the post-fight interview saying that it'll happen naturally. I think she maybe wants to bury a few more opponents before she has it.
Yeah, and I get that. But then I'm a bit like, well, who else is there? There's no clear challenger. I know Amanda Nunes is fighting Juliana Pena. That'd be a good one. Juliana's good. She's good. I don't think she won't beat Amanda. She's not good enough to beat Amanda, but she's got a good background. She's got a good record. I watched her in The Ultimate Fighter. She was on Rousey versus Miesha Tate, and she won it. She is good, but yeah, I don't see posing any threats to Amanda. So I say Amanda, she wins that fight. Maybe Shevchenko fights someone else. I have no idea. Stay active, maybe. But I see that fight happening soon. And who would you say? Who would you say in that fight? Bantamweight, Amanda or Shevchenko?
I still think Amanda Nunes. But that being said, I don't know if she doesn't stop it, it could go either way, really, couldn't it?
Yeah, I'll be honest. It's one of them fights that I generally couldn't give a prediction on. I generally would be like, either one, you can make the argument that wins, and like, it really would, in my opinion, be a toss up. I mean, I'd probably go for Amanda Nunes being the favourite going into it, just because it's at her natural weight to bantamweight. The history of the two having the first two wins, but the dominance in their own way has been pretty much equal. They've just dismantled everyone they fought. So, but yeah, that'd be a massive one. That'd be a big super fight. That one, definitely.
Yeah, I mean that brings us on to the basically
leg break
of the leg break of Chris Weidman, Uriah Hall, which was basically what happened to Anderson Silva and Chris Weidman, wasn't it? It was almost identical. Well, it wasn't identical, but it was close.
It was similar. Yeah, that was a weird one. So like, I want to give like a bit of a background to like, so when Anderson Silva when he fought Weidman for the second time, I don't know how you was, but I don't think there'll be another fight that will grip me like emotionally to that fight. Like, I was a massive Anderson Silva fan, massive, and that first fight when he got knocked out, and the narrative like at that time was, he was kind of playing around, he wasn't taking it too seriously. So going into this rematch, are we going to see an Anderson Silva that wants it, and it's like angry and turns it on and everything, and obviously that happens, the leg break, and that was I don't even know how to put it into words, to be honest. Like, I was just, I couldn't even speak. I was watching the fight. The leg break happened, and I was like this, just at the TV for ages. So I was like, I can't speak. Like, I was just shocked. Never seen it. Me personally, never seen anything like that happen before. And to happen to a guy of Anderson Silva, the magnitude of the rematch, it was crazy. So
you see,
go on.
So I was going to say, I felt like when it was Anderson Silva, I felt like Weidman proper checked the leg kick, and to me, that's a good win. You check the leg kick. It's, they've threw the kick. You've checked it. They broke the leg. I felt like Uriah Hall kind of checked it, but it was more the way his leg was placed, and it was unlucky for Weidman, though.
Yeah, well, so the first fight with the leg break, yeah, Chris Weidman checked it because he learned from the first fight, didn't he? Was it Matt Serra who said, "I don't like the way he's taking them leg kicks"? So for the rematch, they actually trained to defend them. And obviously that is a result of that. And it was the same with the Uriah Hall fight as well. Like, it was a check. Like, it was shin to shin, wasn't it? Shin to shin. But I don't know. Like, it was obviously shocking, but I'm not going to lie, I wasn't as shocked as the Silva one, just because the narrative. If you put your mindset at that time, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's perfect. That's the gravity of the situation. But how crazy is this though? I mean, yeah, Chris Weidman has been involved in the two biggest leg breaks. So rare to happen. But the fact is, he's been involved in both. He caused the first one, and now he's on the receiving end of it. I just think that's crazy. It's mad, isn't it? People were saying about the MMA guards, just having a laugh about it and stuff like that.
I feel like he's just been proper unlucky, Chris Weidman, though.
He has.
Like,
yeah, he has.
Just his career, since winning that belt, everything just seems to be against him.
Yeah.
Do you not think?
Chris Weidman, yeah, 100%. So, and you'll know this as well. You'll know this. You've been watching it for like a long time. Like, remember, like, so do you remember when Chris Weidman beat Anderson Silva for the first time? So he knocked him out. And then it was a lot of people still had the doubts. It was still kind of like, Silva wasn't taking it seriously. Like, let's see what's going to happen. The leg break happens. But before the leg break, Chris Weidman was winning that fight. He already dropped him in the clinch. He was winning that fight. And then he goes from that fight and he fights, I think it was Vitor Belfort. And I think it was Vitor Belfort. TKO'd him, looked good doing it. He then beats Lyoto Machida. And I'll be honest, at that time we were thinking, all right, I think we're in the Chris Weidman era now. Like, I think this is the next guy. I think he's going to reign a long time. Obviously, we know what happened. Luke Rockhold came along and he put a stop to it and everything like that. But then you watch his career and you see his fights. He's always in there. Like, he's always in the fight. He was in the fight against Luke Rockhold, and then he went for a spinning back kick, got took down, and then obviously got finished. When he fought Yoeli Romero. It was
the Luke Rockhold one.
No, I don't think it was. I think it was a little before UFC 200. I think, you know.
It was like a proper bloody battle, wasn't it, with elbows on the floor and everything.
Yeah, Luke Rockhold was sick, wasn't he? In that fight, he had like a staph infection. He was on antibiotics, and the fight was, I'd say, it was quite even. I'll say Chris Weidman was pushing the pace, and then he went for this stupid spinning back kick for some reason, and then Luke Rockhold managed to take him down from that, get his back, take him down, and just dominated. Fight could have been stopped in that round, and then the referee didn't stop it. Went to the second round.
Sure, that was UFC 200.
Was it? I don't know. I don't know when it was. I don't know. I don't think it was, but I can't tell you when it was. It definitely was. I'll be honest. It definitely wasn't UFC 200, mate. You can look it up. It definitely wasn't. No,
because if I'm wrong.
But, nah, this honestly, like, with my memory, mate, there's certain things that, like, I just know it wasn't that. It was close though, maybe 192 or something like that.
It was around.
Research it now. Go on, research it now. If it's UFC, mate, if it's UFC 192, how mad is that? Or UFC 198?
Reading v. Rockhold, I can't even say it, lad. 230.
230.
Yeah, why did I think it was?
Nah, I think I most of the UFC 200 was massive card, mate. I remember.
Yeah, no, that's why I thought it was. Yeah. It was a stacked card. I remember that I'd stayed up for it, and there was about 4 or 5 fights that were all killer on it.
Yeah, I can't remember who was fighting on it, to be fair, but
was it McGregor? Not McGregor Khabib. It might have been McGregor Khabib, because I remember that was the Pettis. Was it Pettis Poirier that after that?
No, I think
not that late on, is it? It's not that late on.
No, Conor Khabib was after that. Definitely after that.
Yeah, no.
Because I think Chris Weidman and Luke Rockhold, were they not 2015, 16, maybe?
Yeah, no, it's going back a long time, mate. And you know why I'm thinking of it? Because I was in the same bar when I watched them both.
Oh yeah. But going back to the wins though, like Chris Weidman, mate, he's been in these. You know, he's saying that obviously he's been unlucky and stuff like that. His fight against Yoeli Romero, he was in that fight, like he was doing good, and then obviously out of nowhere gets caught that flying knee.
That was the only thing Romero did the whole fight.
Yeah. The fight against after that, he beat Calvin Gastelum, tapped him out, and then he lost to Jacare Souza in a fight that he was winning.
Yeah,
he was winning that fight, and then that's it. Gegard Mousasi as well. Sorry, Gegard Mousasi was a bit of a weird one because that was quite even. He was winning that fight, I think, with the wrestling, and then
what happened with Mousasi? I don't remember that fight.
So the fight got stopped, and there was a bit of controversy at the time because it was a knee from Chris Weidman, a knee from Gegard Mousasi, and it was deemed maybe as a grounded opponent. But then the referee was like, it wasn't grounded, it was fine. But because Chris Weidman tried to get
no
the DQ
contest
by saying,
"Oh,
I can't carry on." No, it was a win. I'm sure it was a win for Gegard.
Yeah, but didn't he stay down thinking it was going to be no contest or he'd get the win?
Yeah.
And then he turned around. They didn't know the rules had changed. And they'd done it like New Jersey or something, hadn't they?
Yeah. So then when the referee was like, "You can't continue," Chris Weidman was like, "Oh no, I can," but it was too late. And then referee called it off. So yeah, you know what, he has been in like proper unlucky, weird fights, and that it's kind of gone his way, and then something happens. But that's the fight game. But he has been so unlucky. I think I had him down to win Uriah Hall as well. I had him down to win.
Yeah, I thought Uriah was going to win. He's a bit of an odd one though, with who he's fought because he's beat Silver and Weidman. They're the last two fights, aren't they? Or has he fought?
Yeah. So he finished Anderson Silva, and then obviously this is the fight against Chris Weidman, who obviously he beat. So just to clarify though, I didn't have Uriah Hall winning. I had Chris Weidman winning this one. I thought Chris Weidman was gonna. I thought he was gonna do him with the wrestling. Obviously, we didn't get to see that, did we?
Win.
Did you? Was that just based on the recent form of both?
I just liked him for it. I'll be honest with you. I just feel like he's dead explosive, and I felt like you say. I just feel like Weidman's had that bad of luck, and I just feel like he's on the tail end. And you know, if he'd got him with the wrestling and that, then I could have seen him win. But I just feel like Uriah Hall's quite explosive, and I felt like he's a bit more of a static target. I don't think he is the fighter that he used to be anymore, Weidman. It was instinct more than I'd sat down and thought about it. But
I get that.
That being said, what do you reckon for Uriah Hall though? He's beat two ranked? Well, his Anderson Silva's still ranked, but he's beat.
I don't think he was ranked at that time. But but I say so. Uriah Hall's on I think he's on like a 4-fight winning streak now. His last loss was against Paulo Costa.
He's about 8th or 9th, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. So you know what? I think Uriah Hall's he's obviously got some good momentum. I think fight to make next for Uriah Hall, middleweight. I don't know, you know. I actually don't know.
He's got Adesanya.
So on that one, when I sorry, this is going off on a bit of a tangent, kinda. When the fight got announced with Adesanya and Vettori, at first I was like, don't get it. It's like don't get it. But it was because of the timeline, and I was like, okay. He couldn't do it, and I was like, okay, that actually makes sense. To be fair, though, and I think Robert Whittaker though don't need to fight anyone else. Like just chill out, just wait, and then you'll fight the winner because he's done enough, mate.
He's going to be fighting. He's going to be fighting Adesanya.
Oh, whoever wins, yeah. Is that what you're already picking Adesanya? Yeah. I think it's going to be a good fight, that one. I can't at middleweight. I'm probably going to go for Adesanya as well. I think he beats Vettori. I think Vettori's got a bit confident because he's obviously seen Jan control Adesanya with the wrestling, and I know probably he's thinking, "Well, I can follow a similar suit of game plan." Not good game plan. I don't think he can do it against Adesanya. Adesanya's got good wrestling, mate, and good jiu-jitsu, good transitions. Obviously, Jan was just a bigger guy, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, we'll do a full thing on that one when it comes round. That's like June, isn't it now?
I think so. Yeah. No, I was going off on a bit of a tangent there, but just to bring it back, like the middleweight division. Maybe you could have maybe Darren Till or something, but I think Derek Brunson's been calling Darren Till out. I think they want to fight each other, don't they? Till and Brunson.
I don't think that's a good.
Which would be quite good. Derek Brunson.
I think he's going to try and wrestle him, isn't he? I think Darren Till, even if he wins, which I hope he does, it's not an exciting fight.
But then who else though? Because I think Brunson should be higher ranked than Till. Should be anyway.
Yeah, he should
so
be.
If I was Darren Till, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should be. So I think if I was Darren Till, I'd be probably looking for a fight like that. It's a bit up in the air. Maybe Kelvin Gastelum, maybe.
Who for Till?
No, for
Kelvin Gastelum for Uriah Hall.
That's the one. Yeah, sorry, yeah.
That'd be
maybe can have that rematch of the Ultimate Fighter final.
Yeah, the best roommates, aren't they? And
are they best mates now? Yeah.
They were roommates after Ultimate Fighter, and they like lived together for years and all that. So I don't know if they'd go seeking it out.
Oh, fair enough. I honestly, when it comes to Uriah Hall, I honestly don't know. I mean, you know what though, the guy's been looking good. Uriah Hall's always had a thing with his mental state, hasn't he? Like
he underachieved
when he fought. Yeah, like there was a thing when he so from the Ultimate Fighter, he fought is it John Howard? I think his name was John Howard. And he was the favourite to win that fight. He should have won. But he lost the decision, and he just was not aggressive, didn't go for it, didn't pull the trigger. And he said afterwards he was struggling with like a mental blockage because he liked John Howard. He was good friends with him, and he just didn't want to hurt him. And obviously, he's had that situation a lot of times where he can't pull the trigger. But I feel like he can now. I feel like he's getting, I feel like he's in a bit of a different mindset. So you never know. Could have a good run.
You can't have that in the UFC. Do you remember Travis Brown and Andrealovsky? They're good mates training and went in and just smashed each other up.
Yeah, that was a good one. To be fair, I was made up with Andrealovsky with that one.
Yeah, well, it was one of my fights of the year. That
was an unbelievable fight. That one, unbelievable. Just like back and forth the way Travis Brown caught him as well. And then obviously Andre went down, and then it was all like, oh my God. Yeah.
I think that wasn't one of the fights of the year. You had Gaethje Alvarez and Gaethje Michael Johnson and stuff the same year. So it just dropped it down the pecking order. You had some great fights that year. But move on, mate. Anthony Smith, Jimmy Crute.
Mate, Anthony Smith, like, I watched his walkout, and he's like interacting with the crowd and everything like that. It was the first fight in the main card, wasn't it? So like, I'll be honest, from that, I was like, even just from that being with the fans and everything, I was rooting for Anthony Smith for that one. I was like, I like that. And he looked good, didn't he? Looked sharp, I thought. Looked fast, looked sharp, looked confident, looked like he wanted it.
Big jab.
Yeah, big jab as well. I was made up for him, to be fair. But it was mad, wasn't it? That one leg kick, and that was it. That was crazy, I thought.
I thought it was another one of these perennial nerves when I'd seen it, but they mentioned it in the post-fight press conference, and Dana White said, no, he's just goosed his knee. His knee looks like it's just a mess. So it was another one of they've hit the nerve, like this infamous calf kick that everyone's going on about. But Apparently his knee has just been like, I don't know if it's shattered or if he's done a ligament or what, but I think Crute could be out for a while off the back of that.
Yeah, it was a bad leg kick. Good for him, obviously. But it just shows you, mate, it's mad, isn't it? Like one perfectly timed and placed leg kick can just change a fight. Just because Crute was doing good, wasn't he? I'm sure he was doing quite well.
Yeah, it was tit for tat. I mean, Smith was sort of staying around on. I mean, he wasn't necessarily on the outside, but he was in and out in the centre of the cage using that jab, controlling the distance, and then you could have said Crute was, pressing the action as well. It could have gone either way from there, but that kick just put a stop to the whole thing.
Just ended it.
But the interesting thing is, Anthony Smith now has put himself back into some sort of contention because, I mean, let's face it, since the John Jones fight, he's done a couple of undercards and stuff like that. I don't know if he's headlined the fight night or whatnot, but now he's in a position where, they've just got rid of Tyron Woodley, DeSantos over him. Some big names have been going, and he's slowly gone down the list. In terms of he was opening the cards, really, wasn't he, after the prelims?
Yeah.
Now he's going to beat the up and comer that people were looking at. I mean, he's not beaten as many big names, Jimmy Crute, but he's had some great performances.
Yeah.
Now he's put himself back in a position where maybe he's just saved his bacon a little bit.
Definitely. I mean, so he was on his last fight before this one. He submitted that Alonzo Menfield choked him out, and then obviously winning this fight. And the thing is, though, the light heavyweight division now is it's just not stacked at all. It's just like you just need a few wins, and there you are. I mean, that who we're going to speak next? That Jerry, can't pronounce the second name. Who's fighting? Dominic Reyes next week.
Jimmy Praskas. He beat Volkan Oezdemir. That's the best way I can remember his name. The guy who beat No Time.
So that guy there, I mean, he's had one fight in the UFC so far. Won by KO, pretty spectacular. And now he's fighting Dominic Reyes. If he beats Dominic Reyes, 100%, literally could fight for the title next. Could fight against Jan. Or the winner of Jan and Glover. Like, why not? That's what I'm saying. The division is just a bit weak at the minute, isn't it?
Yeah, don't forget Oezdemir as well. He sort of fell off the top of the ladder a bit, didn't he? But I mean, he went and fought DC for the title and lost. Beat Jimmy Manua. He had a string of KOs. The worst nickname ever. No time, because I've got no time. I must knock them out because I have no time. All that shit. But
he was doing it.
He's gone in, and they were trading. But he's just got these weird, like, sort of long arms like that, hasn't he? And he just seems to catch him with these big loopers. So, I mean, that's what I've seen of this fella, Jiri. But he looks all right, mate.
He's good. He's good, that Jiri. Like, he used to fight in, he's got quite a lot of experience, though, so it's not going to throw him. Like, he's fought some big names. He beat Mohamed Loyal. He lost against him at Risen, and then he rematched him, and then he beat him, KO'd him. He's fought some good names like outside the UFC, big organizations. So he has had that spotlight. So he's got that experience coming into this fight. And Dominic Reyes, he's a guy that he's coming off a loss against Jan that many people's eyes, everyone had him to win. I had him to win. And I think the narrative was kind of like, even from the media, it was a fight that it was already pre-planned. It was like kind of, we know Dominic Reyes is going to win type thing, and it never happened. And I feel like he's in this situation now where he needs to get this win, but he's fighting such a dangerous guy. It's going to be a good fight next week. What are your thoughts on it? Who have you got for it?
I've only really seen the one fight for this, Jerry, and I see what everyone goes on about with Dominic Reyes. But I'm saying this, he's got a good record for it and that, but I don't think he's as big a killer as this Jerry. I reckon they're going to stand, and I think this Jerry's going to just make a name for himself more than he already has done. I see it, you know.
Yeah, I agree. To be fair, no, I agree. I think Jerry's going to go out there, and I think Dominic. I don't know what happened. Dominic Way's like. I know what. Yeah, listen, Jan's really good. I know he is, and he had his number. But I did feel like with Dominic Way's, he just didn't look the same guy of when he fought John Jones. It was weird. It was like a psychological just difference. So I don't know. But you can't have that against that Jerry guy. I mean, like he's so good. So yeah, I've got Jerry for that one.
Yeah, I do. So I mean, that's the card that's been, and that's the card to come. So the only other real news is Nick Diaz is looking for a fight. And he's talking about you. No.
He's talking about me, mate.
Yeah.
I'll do
he's
him,
looking
mate.
for
I'll
you.
do him. Hey, I tell you what though, mate, he looks, have you seen like
looks
his
old.
physique and everything on? I think he looks good, you know.
I haven't seen his physique.
Like he looks in shape. Better than usual.
Actually, I think I seen a picture of him. He was doing like an Ironman or something, but I don't know how old it was. But there's a picture of him there where it's just his face and he's in a top or whatever. And he looks like he's, you know, aged a bit like, and it's one thing being in shape, but it's another thing having that. I mean, you can never really say gas tank or anything, can you? But I don't know, just having that same response time and, you know, the big on the
I think it depends.
Another 5 years since he's fought or whatever.
Yeah.
That's another 5 years smoking the ganj. You know, people say it's great and that, but I don't really think it's a performance enhancer in any way, is it? If anything, it does.
Not at all. Yeah, it does. I think with the whole weed situation, like, remember people were saying about it helps you with jiu-jitsu because you necessarily maybe don't feel that you become a bit numb to the pain, but yeah. But I think with Diaz, though, I think it depends on who he fights. I think that's the key. Who would they match him up with? What makes sense? What weight would he fight on? Would he go in welterweight or middleweight?
Confirm him with Carlos Condit or someone who's at the end of their...
Yeah, something like that would make sense.
Let them do an undercard. Or maybe even if it's a fight night, give them the headline. Just as like a final goodbye, you know what I mean? But I don't think he's making any title runs anytime soon, so... No chance,
no. No, it's a different breed now. It's a different breed now. I mean, his last fight was middleweight, and I think I don't know if he would just go back into middleweight. Like this is to say, if he was to fight again. So if he was to fight at middleweight, who's that big name? Who's that big name for him at middleweight? You know what I mean? He ain't gonna fight Adesanya.
Silver too.
Yeah. They see like who would you? I have no idea. Oh, that fight, mate. That was mad.
You know what? You know it'd be a good one. Put him at welter and bring GSP back for one.
Yeah.
That'd be a good fight. And that headline.
GSP would not ever. He won't ever come back. Like
thing.
He just, I think he's just happy and like what. So last fight beat Bisping for the middleweight belt, retired as the champ. I mean, it just doesn't get bigger. It's like I feel like for fighters that retire, they try and retire on a win, and only a few fighters get to retire on their own terms and get to retire on the biggest stage. Like Daniel Cormier, I think Daniel Cormier, he'll never come back, and why not? Because he had the perfect. I say almost the perfect. He didn't win against Stipe, but if he fought again, who would the pick? Well, yeah, I don't even think he don't even think. I mean, I say the Stipe, the heavyweight for the heavyweight belt was bigger than a rematch with John Jones. I mean,
I'll be honest with you, mate. The thing with John Jones is always tarnished because he was caught on. Well, what do you think? Was he caught on performance enhancers, or was he?
Oh, it was the Pico. I, I would go for the Dick Bills only because it was that picogram. It was like a little small. Because I go back and forth with my mates about this because they all think John Jones was on steroids, and all them stories that came out about him with him hiding underneath the octagon in his gym. But that was because he was smoking weed. He was quite honest, and he came out about it and said, "I was smoking weed, so I knew I would have failed it." It's not an enhancement drug; it was just weed.
Yeah, but
So I don't know.
the thing is, you're also an adult, and you know if you don't take the drug test, you're still going to have the same issue and stigma. So why not just fail it for weed rather than have people say, was he on performance enhancers?
I mean, obviously it's like an immaturity, isn't it, with him? And why does he do anything? Why does he go out and would he crash into a pregnant woman's car? Obviously, he didn't know she was pregnant, like, to be fair to him.
She was in his way.
Yeah, she was in his way. It's
He
like,
was in a
why did
rush.
he do anything? He
His
had to be there, mate.
closing.
That's what I say. It's like, why did he do anything like that? He obviously just wasn't thinking in the moment. He just thought, fuck, I'm going to fail the drug test because I'm smoking weed. But that's just what he's telling us. Obviously, we don't know. Was he on steroids? I don't have a clue. But what I've heard recently is, the obviously back and forth with John Jones in the UFC about the money situation. Dana White came out and he was like, he's asking for 30 million, which is a high amount. But then John Jones is like, who mentioned 30? It's this back and forth. And I'm like, oh, like, keep it behind closed doors. Like, just fucking sort it out. Like, shut up. Sort it out and then get something sorted.
They are building the anticipation. It's never going to happen.
Do you think?
It's never going to happen. And then it's going to be, oh, look, it's happening. After all this drama and controversy, it actually came off just like every other one. Just like McGregor, I'm never fighting you, signed.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit of a pessimist of that. I don't know. I hope they get it done though.
Yeah, there are a few elements of the UFC lately. I don't know if it's something that's being employed by them as a tool, or if it's the fighters have just followed this McGregor blueprint in order to sell themselves, and it's not something Dana White's pushing, because he might just be thinking John Jones is wanting 30 million, but John Jones might be, I want 30 million. I never said that. Just to big it up himself, just so he gets a bit of thing for the fans. So whatever he does get is bigger. I mean, this whole Jake Paul, Daniel Cormier thing is, again, it's another WWE element that I'm just sort of disappointed in. Daniel Cormier should have just skull ragged him everywhere. He should have dragged him out, beat the shit out of him. None of this. Should have slap you.
I'll be honest, he should have just ignored him. Just ignore him. Don't give him the time all day. Just ignore him. But you know what? I just want to. Obviously, I wasn't on the podcast last week. It's your birthday, everyone. So I was saying, but the Jake Paul and Ben Askren fight. Obviously, yeah, for us people who wanted Ben Askren to win, obviously a little bit shit. But listen, good knockout, good stoppage. Brilliant for Jake Paul. Oh my God, like, this is fantastic for him. Keep doing what he's doing. Call out these MMA fighters. Yeah, call them out. Call out these MMA fighters. Why not?
You might have been off celebrating your birthday, but you better have watched the podcast. Like,
watch the 5 minutes later. I promise. I skipped to the good bits. Right?
Me, yeah.
Just you, mate.
I turned around and said, though, this kid's nothing but a bully, really. I mean, if you're saying you're the best boxer and no one can handle these hands, call out Usyk, call out fucking Midas Breeders, Neill, any of the top cruiserweights who were sort of towards the end, and just call one of them out. Because if you're the best boxer, you should be calling out the best boxer, not the fucking UFC fighters who when we were talking about it, I didn't realise they were fighting a cruiserweight. No wonder he was.
Yeah, it was it 195? I can't remember. It was a high weight. Yeah,
He was 22 to 25 pounds over his normal weight. So we had to put on 20 odd pounds in order to be able to fight. So that's not getting fit for a fight. No excuse. He lost by not having his hand up. I mean, his hand was down. He got fucking caught. It was sweet punch. And it was just, that was all she wrote. But the fact of the matter is, don't call out people half your weight in a different sport.
Yeah.
And I made the analogy. That's like me calling out a netball player to come play basketball, a rally car driver to come drive Formula One, a rugby player to play NFL. It's a different fucking sport. Go and find a boxer and box him.
But this is what he's doing, and he loves. And I think it's brilliant because it riles people up. Do you know what I mean? Like he's got that's what I'm saying. He's got you reacting to it like that, and I think it's perfect for him. I said on the last podcast that I was on, I was like, didn't really like him, not really feeling what he's doing and everything like that. But you know what? He goes out there, he KOs Ben Askren, wins that fight. I just feel like he's earned it now. You've earned it, mate. Fucking do it. Call out these fighters, these MMA fighters who, I think, right, if he does this right, he's got a bit of a good run. I heard recently it was it Diaz? I think it was actually Diaz. Maybe Diaz who was called out.
But he's under contract, isn't he? And
obviously,
Dana White said he's not fighting. Fans aren't waiting for our fighters to fight on another promotion just because.
Oh.
The one thing that pisses me off, this is because I was like you last week. Oh, it's all right. It's a bit of entertainment and it's more eyes on the sport. But I watched that Thriller show, Snoop Dogg's contribution.
Yeah.
He looks like a sack of milk, man. Where's my $1 million? Where's my million? I want to hear something about the fight, some actual constructive breakdown of what's going on, not just name calling, schoolyard bullying, and a couple of comedians sat down. There were like 5 of them, and I recognised people from films and that. And I thought, the last time you had a fight, you got your milk money fucking stolen off you in the queue. You've got no talking about a fight. You got less players talking about a fight as they do in the fucking ring fighting. And then that pissed me off. But I thought, I don't have to watch Thriller. Now I'm watching the UFC and I'm watching this prick going, oh, look, the crowd are thinking of my name. I'm like, no, you were all right when you just did your thing.
Yeah.
All the way over there. Now, instead of listening to the build-up for a fight, the camera's on you. You're walking away from something I like. Fuck off. That's how I felt about it.
So I'll be honest, I heard a lot of bad stuff, especially with is it Oscar De La Hoya? Apparently he was just off his head. Like, I don't know if he was pissed or anything. Was he? Apparently he was pissed or something. He was just speaking nonsense. Like, and I think it was during the Frank Mir fight, because Frank Mir said, I think Frank Mir actually said a bit of a nice comment, just saying, I think he's just got his own demons. Like, just leave him be, and I hope he gets the help that he needs. I didn't watch the whole event. And I watched that fight and a bit of a. What?
So I watched the event. I watched the main fights and the commentary during those fights, and then I couldn't take it. It was just nonsense.
So I luckily watched it on a bit of a dodgy stream. So I didn't. I think my mine was in Spanish, so I didn't listen to the commentators, like, which is good.
Knock off Nigel.
Didn't get that. Yeah. So yeah, my commentary was in Spanish, so I didn't get that. But yeah, I heard a lot of bad stuff about the show. You had there, but that's Snoop Dogg, mate. Snoop Dogg used to do it was the Contender Series, I think. Was it the Contender Series? And he used to commentate it with Uriah Faber a few years back. And he got a bit of controversy off that because he was just chatting shit. And he put up a few stories. Like, I think when Chris Weidman lost, he was like, he's like, oh, fuck you, just being a proper, just being a knobhead.
But
he's like that, mate.
Thing is, right? It's one of them. He's never gone in and fought boxing or UFC, cage fighting, mixed martial arts. He's never fought in any of these promotions.
No.
Why is he there? And I mean, you could turn around and say, like, yeah, you Mike Goldbergs and stuff like that, who were just presenters, but they all had a good grasp of what was happening, or they were there to prompt people like Joe Rogan, not just say, yo, man,
professionals.
owes me $2 million. I bet on this fine. It's like, what the fuck are you on about, man?
So they had it because it was funny. I mean, they had Snoop Dogg. They had it was that guy from what's his name? Is it Staten Island? The guy from Staten Island, that film.
Yeah, he was there, and it's like,
what's his name?
I don't know. He's quite funny and stuff. But
yeah, fuck, can't remember his name.
What was the fight?
I didn't know why they had it in there, like, but it was just a show. It was just a spectacle. They just did it because famous people, funny. Let's just make it funny. I think they were going more comical value type thing. But I had so many bad stuff about the commentary and all that. So much bad stuff.
Mate, it's one of them. Like, it's imagine getting like to Hollywood status, and then you go get your ringside seats at the UFC, and then you've got Britney Spears on one side and Madonna on the other, and you listen to them chat about the shorts that they're wearing and, oh, aren't they nice gloves? It's like, that'd be like your worst nightmare. You've just spent a couple of grand on that seat, and you've got these two dickheads here, and you can't enjoy it. You'd wish you had like The Rock and fucking Rocky Marciano or someone who knew what they were looking at, and you've got two dickheads on either side, and I just felt like putting the fucking computer on mute when I was watching it.
So you get to that Cage Warriors. Obviously, granted, that Cage Warriors, I'm not spending $2,000 for the ticket, am I? You know what I mean? It's like 30 quid. But you get it at all events. Like, I mean, on one of the events, I think it was in Ngannou and Stipe. There was like Kourtney Kardashian and stuff like that there. Do you know what I mean? Like Megan Fox and all that. So it's like, you lucky bastards.
Down there.
Is it, you know what I think though? I just think you lucky bastards. Like, fucking, I want to be there. Like, do you know what I mean? Because they're obviously rich and stuff like that, and the celebrities, they fucking get them seats. How boss would that be though, Neil? Like, imagine going to watch a UFC event, like a Stipe and Ngannou fight, and you go with your mates or whoever, get your own couch and everything like that, everything set up, like no one else around, mates. That would be like the dream. And they don't even appreciate it. Lucky bastards.
Mate, it's just one of them. Like, I mean, I sometimes think, like, I've been to a few events in like the bigger arenas, and that my eyes are shit. I think like when you see like the people sat right at the back in Jacksonville, Florida, like whatever, or the Echo Arena wasn't so bad. And you like,
Echo was good.
Yeah, but like some of them are that big. If you get anything over 20,000 people, mate, you're too far back.
Yeah, you've got to get kind of lucky. Like when I went to go watch Darren Till and Wonderboy Thompson in the Echo, we were like we were up high, but like we were kind of right by the barrier, like almost like middle high, and like we were right by the barrier, so we had no one in front of us. We can clearly see the entrance, the octagon up high. If anything, probably had one of the best seats, because if you're lower ground, you get cut off by the cameraman. You're level with like
you're sort of looking up.
Like you're looking up. You've got the octagon post, the big black post, in your way as well. You're best being at higher ground.
The only benefit there is, even though you've got the crowd, you can hear the corner and everything.
That, you know what, yeah. But I'd rather just put my headphones in, listen to UFC Fight Pass or something, and then obviously watch it. Yeah,
what whale music?
Yeah, because otherwise you just be watching the video. You just be watching the big TV, and it'd be like,
you've just gone for the atmosphere. That's it.
Yeah, that atmosphere though in the Echo, mate, it was so weird, you know, because you watch it on the TV, and it was for the people that, you know, it was quite a boring fight, but watching it live, it was just not like it at all. It was just that exciting. Like everything, any little punch that had happened, everyone was just screaming and stuff like that.
Yeah,
bizarre.
I think, I mean, you're not huge footy, are you? But I used to have a season ticket in the Gladys Street at Everton, and all my mates have got like Anfield, whether it be the Cop or where not.
Yeah.
I think when you go to any sport event involving anything or anybody from Liverpool in Liverpool, you are hearing about it. Like when Bellew fought in Goodison Park, I mean, it's just, they love it.
Loud.
It's huge events, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like you can say that about most cities if they've got their home fans there, but Liverpool, I mean, you can't shut us up at the best of times, lads. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It was also as well, it was like something to prove, because that event was meant to be in Dublin, believe it or not, but they actually took it away from Dublin and they gave it to Liverpool. So it was almost kind of a sense of like, we need to be as loud as we can to make Dana White be like, oh fuck, like I want to come back here again. So it was almost that sense of like trying to prove something as well, which I think everyone did, to be fair.
Unfortunately for me, lad, being a blue, Paddy the Baddie's talking about he wants Anfield if he gets if he gets the opportunity to headline.
But you got Meatball Molly, who's she's Goodison, isn't she? So yeah, go for Molly, innit?
Yeah, I'd step in.
Let's be honest. I feel like Molly's got a better chance of getting a title shot there with Molly. Like, I know she had a loss at the minute, like, isn't she? But get a few wins, like the division. So it's not really stacked, is it? Like,
yeah,
few wins. Fuck
it. Have we found out if he's feather or light yet, Paddy?
Lightweight. There's no way he's going back to featherweight. No way. I don't know where that rumor was coming from, but no, lightweight. It's too big to be feather now. Yeah.
Oh well, it is what it is, mate. Am I missing anything? Did I miss?
No, I think. No, we've covered it. Covered it for next week as well. Both saying, can't say his name. Jerry
Przazowski.
Yeah. We're both picking him, aren't we? Both saying him.
Countdown name, hasn't he?
What's his countdown name?
Too many consonants. Not enough.
Well, consonants. Yeah. Yeah.
No, but
it's just a hard name.
Go on. We'll end on this then. Who was your fight of the night?
For the UFC just gone, I say fight of the night. Oh, fight of the night. I don't know why, but I'm struggling with that one. What's the fight of the night? Yeah, you know what? I was gonna say that, but I was like, I'm not gonna be one of that. I'm not gonna be a dickhead. 100%, mate. Fucking on the edge of your seat, start to finish.
Well, I'll choose it. As much as I'd like to say Usman Masvidal, I'm going to say Shevchenko, because it's been a while since I've seen someone put someone in a crucifix and just.
Are you saying performance of the night? I took it as a fight.
Well, the most entertaining fight of the night for you. I'm
with you. You know what? I'm probably going to say. I'm actually going to say the main event. Because that just shocked me. That the way Usman finished him, how it happened, the way he punched Masvidal, and Masvidal actually smiled, and it was literally like a few moments later, he just slapped him. That was my performance of the night, 100%. Good
stuff, mate. Well, look, that's it from us today. We'll be coming up to probably Monday, Tuesday next week, and we'll have the updates on what happened on the weekends. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, hit your notification bell, visit the website, onewayfighting.com. And yeah, enjoy your week, guys, and we'll see you soon. There'll be another podcast coming out on Friday for you as well. I'll get confirmation details out on the Facebook page and the site for you on that. Ashley, good to see you, mate.
See you all later.